Welcome to the Etihad Cargo Connections with 10 Furlongs magazine. I'm your host today, Aurelian. Joining us is Clayton Douglas, currently one of the Australia's most exciting horse trainers and the trainer of Everest winning Giga Kick. The 4-year-old son, Caesar's Kick, also has won 2 group races and over $7 million over his career. Today, we hope to discuss his plan going into the Everest for Giga Kick, as well as a little bit about what's going on and what's next for the exciting colt. So let's begin. Welcome, Clayton. Great to have you here.
Thanks for having me on.
That's great. How are you doing today, and how are things going in the yard?
Yeah, no, look, things are being really good. We're obviously we've got our pin-up horse, Giga Kick, and we're looking forward to getting him back to the races. So not long now until we'll see him run first up, and yeah, we can't wait to get him back and sort of start his spring assault. Obviously, all heading towards the Everest. But look, he's in great shape, and look, the team at home have been doing a very good job with him.
That's great to hear, for sure. Just before we get more into Giga Kick, I just want to take a second just to mention a few facts. So the number of winners you've had so far has increased every year you've been training. What's the true key to improving, and what's your aspiration for this season?
Look, probably the true key is to, I've sort of only been training a short period of time, so probably learning a little bit more from my mistakes and maybe be placing horses a little bit better to where they're advantaged. And to be honest, we're starting to get some nice horses around us, which definitely helps. We've got a nice quality bunch of young horses coming through, and each season we've been able to have a good number of 2-year-old winners. And I think that's the key, to be able to sort of get on the board quickly throughout each season and have a consistent amount of winners each year that we keep sort of stepping up the mark. And yeah, like you say, we've had a very good season last season, and hopefully we can do the same this time around.
That sounds like a great way to progress slowly, and definitely. Great.
Exactly.
So obviously, Giga Kick is the star of the show. Can you tell us a bit more about how he found his way to your yard, actually?
Yeah, look, it's a bit of a story behind it. He's my uncle. He's the racing manager for Jonathan Munns, who's the owner of Giga Kick. I've had quite a fair bit of success on the flat when I was a jockey, and also just riding his horse's track work for Anthony Freedman, who's obviously a big trainer, very close to where I train, and I did quite a lot of work for him. And look, Jonathan's been a big supporter of Anthony Freedman for a long time. So look, my uncle, like I say, is a racing manager for him, and they were sort of looking for someone to place this horse, and he was one of the last horses to be allocated a trainer that year. And yeah, look, it was the first horse that I've ever had for Jonathan, and yeah, it's turned out to be Giga Kick. So it's been an amazing ride up until now, and hopefully it can keep on going.
That sounds great. What are your plans with him in the lead up to the Everest?
Yeah, look, it's well noted. He's got a pretty set out program at this stage. He'll run first up in the McEwen Stakes, which is 1,000 metres at weight for age level around Moonee Valley. So he'll kick off on the 9th of September. His next run, all going well, will be in the Premier Stakes on the 30th. That's up in Sydney. It's a 1,200 metre race. It's sort of a second up assignment for him. And we'll be looking to run him 2 weeks later after that into an Everest third up. We sort of found last preparation, he won the Group 1 in Sydney, third up, and his runs have been really good, sort of third and fourth up. So we're going to be going down the same path this time round this spring, and hopefully it can come to fruition.
That sounds great. Do you have a little bit of pressure since you won last year?
Yeah, look, he's favourite this time round. We were a bit of an underdog last year. We were unbeaten 3-year-old, but we hadn't taken on the older horses. We were about 20 to 1 last year, and I think this year we're about 3-1. So it's a bit of a different scenario this time round. We're probably expected to be running very well, if not winning. And look, I'm really thriving on this. It's great. The horse has developed, and to have a horse like him, this is what we get out of bed for every day. So yeah, a bit more pressure this time round, but I'm really embracing it and really loving it at the moment.
Excellent. So now I want to talk a bit more about your techniques. So apart from the regular training and conditioning, of course, are there any unconventional or maybe some unique techniques that you employ to keep Giga Kick mentally sharp and focused ahead, of a $20 million high-stake race?
Yeah, this horse. He's quite a funny horse. He loves traveling. We've found it really stimulates him to go to another environment. So his first up run will be in Melbourne, and then we'll move him up to New South Wales, and he'll do the remainder of his racing for his next 3 runs. Will be in New South Wales, and it really brings him on. It's quite funny. I think he just gets somewhere else, and it really stimulates him, and he seems to really thrive when he gets up to Sydney. So I've noticed that the last couple of times we've taken him there, obviously the first time for the Everest, and then again last preparation as well. So he's a horse that he's a very, very quiet horse. He's very well mannered. He does everything right, which makes my job a lot easier. But look, he's a horse that likes going down to the beach, doing a bit of water walking. We're very lucky. We've got very good facilities here at Mornington, and there's a lot of different tracks that we can use, and different scenarios that we can sort of keep him mentally stimulated. So it's very good.
That's great. So would you say that he's quite easy to train?
He is quite easy to train. Yeah, look, he eats. He's not sort of finicky. He sort of eats very well. He enjoys working. He's an athlete. He's a very natural athlete in that as well. He's a very clean-winded horse. He's a horse that recovers very quickly from his work. So in that sense, he's a bit of a trainer's dream, and he's a well-mannered horse to go with it. So makes our job a lot easier when we've got horses like this, and they really want to work with you. And he's a horse that he's definitely a racehorse, and he really loves his job.
That's great. That sounds like a dream. All right. So
absolutely.
Sorry. So obviously, having won last year, the Everest last year, what lesson did you learn from that experience, and how have you incorporated them into this year's race strategy and training?
Yeah, look, he's probably learnt last year. It's a very, very big day, the Everest. It's a day that the horse needs to be mentally prepared for as well. It's a big crowd. There's a lot of people, a lot of prize money on offer, and there's not a lot of room to move. It's one of the bigger days of racing, and I think the big thing is to get the horses there in a nice, relaxed, calm manner. And I learned a lot last year. Obviously, him winning the Everest and first time doing it, and we've sort of changed a couple of things with his pre-parade. He gets a stallion chain in the mounting yard, and just it helps him stay a little bit more relaxed, and I think that was the key to him really kicking off in the autumn as well. He coped really well with everything, and look, this time round he's come back a lot bigger and stronger. So he's not. He was second up into a TJ Smith Group 1 in the autumn, but he's going to be third up into an Everest. So I think he'll be a little bit more tuned up this time, and it's definitely our target race, and we're looking forward to hopefully go back to back. But he's a horse that I think we just got to keep him quite mentally relaxed and calm, and he'll show his best on the day.
Right. So would you say that mentally speaking and physically speaking, he's even stronger than last year?
Absolutely, he's a lot heavier, a lot bigger, a lot stronger. He's and because he was such a young horse at the time, he hadn't probably experienced a lot of media, a lot of a crowd, a lot of people in general. So this time round, he's obviously experienced that. He's a more furnished horse. He's turned from you know, you could say he's turned from a boy into a man, and you know, he's going to race a lot heavier this preparation, a lot bigger and stronger. So it's very exciting, and the physical development that he's taken is just phenomenal. So look, I'm in the box seat at the moment, and I'm really happy with how we're travelling leading into his spring assault, and I can't wait to get him back to the races.
Thank you so much. Now, I want to talk a bit more about your own personal workspace or training. Like, what exactly got you into training? And of course, you know, imagining that you won a winner with your first ever run in the Everest definitely should help.
Yeah, look, yeah, well, good question. My father trained. He was always been in the family. I always grew up around horses, and probably wanted to be a jockey. And I had a bit of a career on the flat. Was able to win a couple of group races on the flat, but weight was really starting to get to me. So I was really starting to struggle in the weight category. I'm quite a tall person, and look, natural progression for me was to probably take my hand to training horses, and I'd sort of build up a good client base with having ridden for quite a good amount of time and ridden for some good owners. So had some good support, and like you say, things kicked off on a bit of a fairy tale. We were able to. My first runner was a winner, and he won very well. And yeah, look, he turned out to be a nice horse for us. So you know, it's probably been one of those things that I've probably in a sense probably been bred into it, and yeah, it's just obviously something that's always probably I was going to go down this path.
That's great. So you grow definitely in the industry, family-wise also. That's
Yeah, absolutely. So my whole family are involved, and even as a young kid, I was walking horses into the track, and you know, I was helping Dad out. So it was probably something that I was always destined for, and to now say I'm a Group 1 winning trainer, I'm very proud of it, and hopefully I can keep adding to that tally.
It's quite amazing. As a next jockey, do you tend to have a big say in how, you know, Giga Kick is ridden, or do you normally tend to let Craig Williams decide during the race?
Yeah, look, we probably as a jockey, I've got a bit more of an understanding of how things can change so quickly in a race and how things don't always go to plan. So, you know, he's a horse that's had a tendency to be a little bit slow away from the machines, and you know, he's starting from the starting gates. He's always been a little bit slow into stride, so he's always put himself on a bit of a back foot. Exactly. Yeah. Generally speaking, I don't normally tell Craig sort of how to ride the horse. I think the main thing with that horse is to just get him into a nice rhythm. He can unleash a really big turn of foot. So as long as the horse can begin cleanly and stay out of trouble, that's probably the main key. But I think we're all on the same wavelengths when it comes to that. And you know, he's ridden him very well throughout his career, and hopefully can have a bit of luck again this time around.
Definitely. You did mention that Giga Kick is very fond of experimenting different environment, like going to Melbourne and Sydney and moving quite a bit. Would you ever consider taking him to a trip to Dubai or Europe?
Yeah, look, it's absolutely, that's on the table. There's a bit of whispers around that we were sort of thinking about going to Royal Ascot this year. You know, we did have the discussion, and we felt like it wasn't the right time, being a 3-year-old, and he'd had a big season already. He'd obviously had a big spring, and we wanted to give him just a nice autumn without getting too carried away. So no, look, it's definitely something that we could be looking at in the future with him, and we would, you know, we are racing for a lot of money this spring, so you know, we're sort of not in any need or hurry in a sense to take him abroad. But if the right race and the right scenario comes up, I'm sure that will be something that will be discussed.
That would be great. We would love to see him outside of Australia for sure. Now, in terms of building a long-term racing career for Giga Kick, How do you strike a balance between, challenging him with prestigious races like the Everest and ensuring that his health and well-being remain, of course, a priority?
Yeah, look, that's exactly right, and that's probably been the main thing with this horse's success is wanting to protect him, and hence the reason we haven't travelled him abroad at the moment or anything. We want to just make sure the horse, he has his light preparations, and look, he's got four runs set in for his spring campaign at the moment, and look, that could be it for this spring. So. I think that I want to have this horse around for a long time, like you say, and look, he's a horse that 24/7 around the clock. He's been well looked after and well managed to this point, and hopefully we can keep doing the same. So, like you say, his health and his well-being is at the front of our minds. He's done so much for my stable and myself and the ownership group already that he probably doesn't need to prove a lot. He's a horse that we hold very close to our hearts, and we'll just be making sure that he's 100% every time he goes to the races.
At the end of the day, his well-being is definitely the most important.
Absolutely, yeah, that's the main thing. And yeah, look, he hasn't got anything else to prove to me. I know he's a little champion, and to obviously put my name in lights and to have won me in Everest and 2 Group 1s at this stage of my career, I couldn't thank the horse and the ownership group enough.
Great. After any winning race, how do you celebrate Giga Kick's achievements? Like, do you have any special treats or maybe some well-deserved downtime for, the horse and you, obviously? Or what's the party plan for 2023?
Yeah, look, it's quite funny. It's sort of after, generally speaking, the days after, like the night after he runs, I'm a little bit exhausted because I'm mentally worn out from being so nervous and anxious about how everything's going to go. But
No party plans?
yeah, look, it's we've had some good nights out. Family have been there. We've had some really good nights, and obviously the horse is at the forefront of our minds. The next day, we'll make sure everything's okay. He generally goes to the beach and has a bit of a wade through the water after he runs, and he has a couple of quiet days. And but look, that's hopefully if he happens to win an Everest, and if he can win his second Everest, I'm sure we'll be having a good party. That's for sure.
That sounds great. That's what we want to hear. Now, let's talk more globally about Australian horses in general. Do you think we're going to see more Australian horses, specifically, like making the journey abroad to tackle the world's best?
Yeah, I do. I definitely think there's, especially with the breeding and the way things are at the moment. You look at a horse like Coolangatta, who obviously went to Royal Ascot recently. I think those mares, they have a definite place. Our sprinting mares are very good horses, and I think they would stick it with the likes of the best in the world. So for their pedigree side of things, it's a big thing to be able to have black type there alongside their page in the Northern Hemisphere as well as the Southern Hemisphere. So it's going to probably, you could say it will start to ramp up a little bit over the coming years. You could think in a sense that our sprinting ranks will take a bit more of have a bit of go around a bit more broadly, and we might see a few more start to happen over the coming years. But yeah, there's definitely, obviously our stayers are stayers that they probably got their races set here, and generally speaking, the Europeans do come down for our Melbourne Cup. So, but I think our sprinting ranks will probably you'll see a few more over the next few years, sort of heading over to Royal Ascot and even places like Dubai as well. So it's definitely something that I think everyone sort of has been talking about.
Excellent. And so you mentioned being a little bit tired after a winning race, obviously. What is it like to win the richest race in horse racing? I mean, you must be recognized quite a lot more in Australia.
Yeah, look, crazy to think he's unbeaten at the time, and yeah, to remain unbeaten to win the world's richest race on turf is phenomenal. So, like you say, it's definitely shot my name in lights, and people have recognised me and have been able to, I've definitely acquired some nice horses out of it, and been able to sort of get a little bit more success, and our numbers are building, and our winners are also starting to build, and we're starting to develop a nice team. So I think that's what you need. You need to have a good banner horse, and hopefully the horses around him can complement him as well.
Great. Do you feel any like, are you able to manage all the attention? Is it comfortable for you?
Yeah, look, it is comfortable. It's quite good. Our media outlets are very good. They're very they're very accommodating in the sense that they know what days we're busy, and we try to really promote this horse for Australian racing and probably racing around the world in general. So the horse has to cope with a lot, and he does very well in doing so. And yeah, look, it's something that we've been managing very well, and it's very good for the Australian public to have a a big name sprinter like this guy, and hopefully he can keep reaching the heights that I expect him to.
That's great. Thank you so much. And now, do you have any other Giga Kicks in the making within the yard? We've talked mostly about Giga Kicks today, but what about the other horses?
Yeah, look, not many Giga Kicks come around, to be honest. But look, I've got some nice horses. I've got a lot of nice young horses coming through that I'm sort of hopeful that can really step up over the next sort of 12 months for us, and especially over the next 6 months throughout this next spring carnival, and hopefully throughout the autumn next time round as well. So we've had a good amount of horses that have been able to win a few races, and we just need that next horse that can really sort of put its name in lights as well. So we'll just keep working hard, and hopefully that horse isn't too far around the corner.
Great. And what's your dream for the future?
Good question. Well, hopefully my dream would be to win another Everest at this stage, and obviously Giga Kick may head to a Golden Eagle after that. So if I can win both of those, I'd be very happy. But in all seriousness, I'd just be happy if everything's going well, and just to be a part of these races and to be talked about. It's great. So in a very fortunate position at this stage, and hopefully it can keep on going for the years to come, and we can keep getting some nice horses in our stable.
You have said, Clayton, you don't want to be the biggest stable, you want to be the best. What does being the best mean, and how do you achieve that?
Yeah, well, I think the big thing is we need quality, and the quality comes with being able to get these horses in our stable, and have the backing of owners who think that I can get the job done, and I've probably proved that with Giga Kick, that I've probably got the best sprinter, if not one of the best sprinters in the country at this stage, and he's 7 of 10, and he could arguably be unbeaten. So to have a horse like him, and for people to see that I've managed him up until now, hopefully that means that we can keep getting some really nice horses into the stable, and probably doesn't mean that we have to have 150 horses in training, but you can have a nice number of horses that are quality horses that are winning at metropolitan level, and we can be having these young horses come through the stables, and hopefully putting our name up in lights as well.
Very good. I do think your dream is not too far away. You mentioned winning the second Everest is not out of reach at all.
Yeah, well, hopefully we're right, but Yeah, I've been dreaming about it, and it'd be great to defend his title, and just hopefully everything can go well this spring. And the horse is in such good health, and he's moving very well, and we're in a really good position at the moment. So not long until the day comes, and hopefully he's there 100% on the day.
Less than a month, I believe.
Yeah, just over. So it should be exciting stuff.
Perfect. All right, before we go on to the last question, for all of those who are enjoying watching this, don't forget to share your comments, like the video, and subscribe to our channel, 10 Furlongs Magazine. Now, finally, Clayton, what advice would you give to aspiring trainers, perhaps thinking of getting involved in this sport specifically?
Yeah, look, my advice would be to you're going to have more lows than highs in racing, and that's just how it works. It's not an easy job. You've got to get up early. You've got to work hard, and I think if you keep sticking at it, I've been a big advocate for the harder you work, the more rewards you get. And sometimes things don't go your way. Sometimes you might be having a bad day, but you've just got to keep on getting through those days, and it always seems to work out well for everyone. And look, it's not an easy sport. It sort of looks great on one side of the fence, but it is a hard grind, and you got to work hard, and you got to be prepared to work hard. And I think with hard work reaps rewards. So hopefully whoever's listening, the harder you work, the more chances you'll get at being able to get a nice horse like me.
Thank you so much for sharing your experience today. That's great.
Thank you. Thanks for having me on.
Thank you very much.